Hi everyone, I'm Gina K from Gina K Designs and your host of StampTV. I'd like to welcome you to our release party presentation. Tonight, I'm so excited to share the new StampTV kit, Sparkling Christmas. This kit is full of beautiful cardstock, patterned paper, dies, and stamps that will help you create beautiful cards, tags, and more throughout the holiday season. At any time, feel free to click on the links below this screen to play along with our contest questions, our challenge, and to see all of the beautiful stamp sets in full, along with the beautiful samples created by our design team specially for you. If you're the partying type, we have a party chat thread going strong where you can hang out with the design team from now until 9 p.m. Central Time. And the best news is, all of the products are already available in our store at ginakdesigns.com, so you don't have to wait to place your order. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's release party presentation. I'm really excited about our brand new Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit. Let me show you what comes inside. First, like all of our kits, you start with a convenient plastic storage box. And this way you can keep all of the pieces of the kit together so that you can stamp along with me each week when I present new projects here on StampTV. Now, let me show you the beautiful cardstock. We'll start with that. Okay. So first, I have our cherry red cardstock. Then you're going to get some of the layering weight white. You're going to get some of the edible eggplant, and that is a gorgeous plum if you haven't tried it. You're going to get some of the prickly pear, some of our heavy base weight white, some fresh asparagus, and some lovely lavender. Isn't that an interesting Christmas palette? I really like this. Now let me show you the pattern papers that go along with this kit. This is called the Sparkling Christmas Pattern Paper Pack. And I want to show you all the beautiful patterns that are inside. Okay. And always keep your top sheet because you can use that little border to just cut that off and use that for a card, for a border. You can also cut out this frame and then you can put your own image in there. So always keep that sheet. It's really useful. Okay, so we have this beautiful eggplant star pattern. Then we have a prickly pear snowflake pattern. We have this one's a mix of lovely lavender and the eggplant. It's actually a little lighter, pinker than the lovely lavender, but it works really pretty with both of those cardstocks. Then you get some of this cherry red star paper, some of this fresh asparagus snowflake. Look at these pretty ornaments. This is the prickly pear, and it's got eggplant in there and cherry red. And then you get some of the stars in the fresh asparagus pattern. And then this cute little pattern of trees that has all different colors in it. It's got the cherry red, it's got the fresh asparagus, the prickly pear, and then this one which coordinates really, really nicely with our lovely lavender. So there's so many opportunities here for unique Christmas combinations. But if you're more traditional, you can always go with the fresh asparagus and cherry red and add a little prickly pear as gold, and you can have plenty of traditional projects too. Okay, so now that you've seen this, let me scoop this up. This is so much paper and it's so pretty. Okay, next I want to show you the set of dies that comes with this kit. Now these are dies by Cherry Lynn Design. We didn't do custom dies this time because we wanted to give you the perfect snowflakes that you could use through Christmas and also all winter long. And this is what they look like out of the package. You can see. And what you're going to do is these are attached by a tiny little kind of piece of metal on each side there. And all you have to do is just bend them and they break right apart. And then if you have some wire cutters, you can just snip off the edges and these will be ready to use. So that is the set of dies that comes in this kit. And wait till you see all the fun things we do with those dies. Now, of course, you get the binder sheet. And you can use that front and back to store your stamps, or you can save it and use it for other stamp sets you have. I'm going to use a piece of paper here so that you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so here is the first stamp set. Maybe I should put white under that. You'll see it even better if I put a piece of white. Here is the first stamp set, and this is just adorable. This is called Holiday Season. And it's got these cute little owls along with these beautiful trees, and I could see all kinds of stamping techniques with these trees. Everything from thumping to watercolor spritz, all kinds of things. This adorable snowman, and then this frame works great with the Stacker's Layers circles. So they're the silver ones, and it works great with that. You can put that right inside and get a nice close cut. It'll also work with the regular circles dies, and you'll just have a little bit more of a border on the inside. And so you might want to try both because you can use them for different things. Two really pretty snowflakes, and then this little sprig here of pine needles, and that's going to be really fun. I'm going to show you how to do some wreath things that are really fun. This border that matches this circle frame, and think of the nice ornaments and things that you can make with that. And then it has a holiday greeting, a happy holidays greeting. This way, if you have friends that don't celebrate Christmas, but they do celebrate the holidays, and you want to send a more generic card, you can use this combination for all of those particular cards. So that's the holiday season set. Next we have the Sparkling Christmas set. And I love this one. This is just so much fun. This is, okay, so we have this really ornate deer. I just love his antlers, and that'll be really fun to color with your alcohol markers or watercolor markers. This big, bold Christmas greeting. Sometimes you just want to use some of that beautiful pattern paper and a big, bold greeting and cut it out with some ovals. That is really nice for that. Of course, you have the Merry Christmas greeting and this Merry Christmas tree. So if you want to make a small square card and put gift cards in it, this is a perfect stamp for that because it sits nicely right in the center of a square card. These other two beautiful snowflakes, these are much more delicate looking. Then you have a big pine tree. It's different. It's just nice and narrow compared to some of the trees we've done in the past. So you can do 3 of them together on a card, and you can do some in the background. This is really neat. And then we have Happy New Year. And I've always wanted a Happy New Year set. But I don't know that I would use a whole set. So we decided to put a Happy New Year in here and an inside greeting. May this joyous New Year bring you good friends, good fortune, and good health. That's really nice to make New Year's cards. And I know some of you get a little bit behind, and then some people you end up just sending New Year's cards to. So that'll help you out with that. And then, of course, this Merry Christmas greeting I just adore. So pretty, just so elegant. So those are the components of the new Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit. So now that you've seen all of these beautiful components, I want to show you the first card project. All right, so to begin this card project, we're going to need some supplies. And the supplies all come from the Sparkling Christmas kit. This is the edible eggplant cardstock, and then I have some of the white layering and white heavy base weight cardstock. So we're going to be using those today. Now, the stamps I'm going to use that border from the Holiday Seasons and the frame from Holiday Seasons. I'm also using the Happy Holidays and the inside greeting, a couple of the snowflakes, and the set of 3 trees. And you can see mine are already stained because I've been stamping them in all different colors to see what they look like, and I'm not quick to wash them. But one of the things I did want to tell you too about photopolymer stamps, which is what our clear stamps are. When you purchase high quality photopolymer stamps, they're going to stain. It just happens. That is almost a little hint as to whether they're a good quality stamp or not. The plastic stamps or the silicone stamps that aren't very well made, they resist ink. So they won't stain, but they also won't grab ink, and so you're going to have very splotchy images. So if your stamps are staining, it means that they're a good quality stamp and you're using some really fun, bright colors. Embrace the stain. They'll stamp beautifully. Once you clean them, even though they're stained, it won't transfer. Okay, so other items I'm going to use for this card are some edible eggplant ink and some of the lovely lavender ink. I'm also going to use some VersaMark ink, and along with that we're going to do some embossing, so I have some of the Gina K Designs Fine Detail White Powder. And I also have some of our frozen glitter, and if you've never tried our loose glitter, it is just mind-blowing in person. It is so beautiful. And then I have the Embossing Magic Pad, and I have one die here, and the die that I have is the Silver Stackers Layers die. This is the circles in the layers version, so I'll show you how close you can cut this frame out. Then I have some adhesive, and I have some washi tape, and I'm going to use the washi tape for the die to make sure that it stays in position. Washi tape is great for that, so I have a little bit of that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to jazz it up a little bit. Of course, I need some glue for my loose glitter, so I'm using the Quickie Glue pen. And then for inside, I'm using the Sakura Stardust pen. Now, if you just have the Stardust pen, you can use it inside and out, or if you just have the loose glitter, same. But I like this because for inside the card, it doesn't get glitter all over the place, and if I want to put a gift card in there, I don't risk the glitter scratching anything up. But the shimmer you get from the loose glitter is undeniable. Alright, so let me move some of this stuff out of the way and we'll get started on this card. To begin, we're going to start with this piece of edible eggplant. And I'm going to use the Embossing Magic Pad all over the surface to remove any oils or debris or anything that happens to be on my fingers where I don't want embossing powder to stick, so it's only going to stick to the VersaMark and not oily spots or dirt. Alright, now I'm going to ink this frame up real well with VersaMark, and the first time you ink up new stamps, sometimes it takes a little bit of extra ink, but VersaMark is a great thing to put on your stamps first because, number one, it does kind of fill in some of the holes, so your stamps are less likely to stain as badly, and it also helps the dye ink to stick a little bit better. So you can try that as an option. Alright, I'm going to stamp this right here on this square piece of eggplant cardstock, and I want to make sure that all of that ink transfers so we get a nice clean embossed look. And this is our large circle block. This is the 4 1/4 inch block. Works great with all of our frames that we've done. Okay, so now I'm going to just take a piece of scrap paper here with some of this white powder, and I'm going to sprinkle that all over the surface, like that. Just blow the excess away. Now, if you have any powder where you don't want it, or if you smudged a little bit and you need to clean something off, use a paintbrush, just a small paintbrush, and you can dust away any little specks of embossing powder before you emboss it. You get a lot more control that way. Okay, so I'm going to emboss this using my heat tool. Just hold that down. And our white powder is so bright and vibrant. Be able to see it right away. Just takes a few minutes to emboss that. Okay. So there is the embossed frame. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I love that. Okay. So now I'm going to do a little bit more embossing. Now I want to lay this white piece right here so that I can measure out where I'm going to put my border. So let's get a little embossing magic on this piece of cardstock. I like to put it all over just in case the powder jumps. Okay, so that's going to go about there. So I want to make sure that I have an even spacing underneath that. So I'm going to ink up this border stamp. And again, because it's new, I'm really inking it up well. And then, leaving a nice border, excuse my head if it's in the way, I'm going to stamp that. And I want to make sure that I really press it down well. Okay, so now I'm going to add some embossing powder to that. I really like these stamps. You're going to have so much fun. And things like borders and frames can be used year-round, so it's a great investment when you've got these kinds of tools in your arsenal. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to emboss that. Maybe I'll put my greeting on. Do you think I can do it? I think I can do it. All right, we'll put the Happy Holidays greeting on next. And we'll emboss everything together. Okay. Give that ink a second to transfer. And more embossing powder. There we go. Okay, well that was easy and fun. So let me get this out of the way and we'll emboss this part now. Once your heat tool is heated up, it goes pretty quickly. Okay, so there is my border. Now I'm going to stamp this piece with the trees. And I'm going to do that using the edible eggplant ink. And what you're going to notice is when you stamp any of the Gina K Designs inks, make sure you let them dry thoroughly. You will get the true color once they're thoroughly dry. They look a little bit dark when you first ink them up and stamp them. So this one almost looks like black when you first stamp it, but it definitely isn't black. Okay. So this one, I'm going to stamp right about here. Make sure it's in the center. There we go. And that will dry up to match the eggplant. So I'm going to put this aside, and now I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting. And I want to show you how to cut out this circle using some tape, some of the washi tape. So I have my Cherry Lynn Designs machine here. And I'm going to start with the white plate. And then, now, what you want to do is you want to line this up so that it's perfect in the center. But what happens is as you start to roll, crank the machine and roll everything through, sometimes the dies shift a little bit. So washi tape is not very sticky at all. And if you're really worried about it, you can kind of stick it on your shirt a little bit first. and that will also prevent it from being too sticky. But washi tape is great for this. So you want to make sure that you've got it all centered. And then a little piece of washi tape on two corners. Now let me take a look at that before I commit to it. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. Then one thing that I like to do, once you've used either your Cuttlebug or any machine for quite a while, it gets little bits and pieces stuck into the areas where all the cut lines are. And sometimes those areas will press into your cardstock, and especially if it's dark cardstock, it'll leave little white specks. So if you throw a piece of copy paper on top, that avoids that whole issue. So put a little piece of copy paper on top. Cut that out. Pray for the best. Okay. Let's see. Well, you know what? This would have been absolutely fantastic if I had placed the die going in the right direction. See what I did? I cut out this piece of copy paper. So let's try that again. See, I make plenty of mistakes too. All right, so we'll just reverse that process and put it blade side down. There we go. Have any of you ever done that? Please say yes. Okay. All right. Although that looked like it cut in the right spot, so I'm encouraged. And let me take a look at it here. That looks good. Okay, same thing again. I'm going to put this piece of copy paper back over on that spot where it's going to cut. Put that down. Copy paper on top. And here we go. One more time. That sounded more like cardstock to me. I don't know about you. Okay. So now, I'm going to take that washi tape off. And you can see that my stitching is left behind. So you can see all of the stitching. That's a tight cut, but that looks really good. Okay. Success. All right, let me get this out of the way. Now, we're going to adhere these two pieces together. So we're going to just use regular mono adhesive for that. And we'll center that. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit of glitter to these trees, and I'm going to do that using the Quickie glue pen. And I'm just going to do like little squiggle lines all over the bottom of each grouping of pine needles, and then maybe a little bit up at the top. There we go. Okay. So now to add that glitter, I'm just going to pour some of this right onto the trees. And then I'm going to put that into my little piece of paper here. And then just tap it a couple of times kind of hard. And that gets rid of all of the stuff that's anywhere that it shouldn't be, except on the areas that you glittered. And you can see that, the areas that you glued, how pretty and shiny that is. What I really like about this particular glitter is it seems to pick up on the color of this eggplant, which I love that. It's so pretty. And it matches so well. Yet when you use it as snow with other colors like red cardstock or green cardstock, it just gives that pretty shimmery look. So you're going to love that. All right. So now my next step is to adhere this piece onto this piece of eggplant. And we've got that centered out pretty well. And this whole thing then is going to look like there are so many different pieces once you put it on this white piece of cardstock because of that border. It's so cool. That will go onto here like that. Doesn't that just look like so much more than you actually had to do to make this card? I love it. Okay. So now we're going to do the inside of this card. And what I did was I cut another piece of white and another piece of the eggplant. And I'm going to stamp the greeting with some of the eggplant. And stamp that in the center of the card here. That's one of the great things about clear stamps. You always know where you're stamping. And then I'm going to add some snowflakes using the lavender. So I'm going to stamp one right about here. And the lavender's nice and light, so you can write right on top of that. Maybe one over here, and then one down here at the corner. That just jazzes up your inside, but still allows you plenty of room to write. And sometimes, depending on how many cards you write, you might not have time to write full page letters to everybody, so it's nice to have other stuff going on, and you can just write your brief message and your signature and maybe their names up here. Some of you like to include a Christmas letter. That's always nice. And then this is just going to sit right inside your card. And you can take that Sakura pen and just add a little bit of glitter into different little parts of these snowflakes. If you want, you can kind of put a little dot on each of these. And that kind of shimmers. It's nice. It doesn't take away or distract from anything that's going on from your message, but it does give you just a little bit of sheen in there. So that is my finished card project. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's release party presentation video. Stay tuned to StampTV for more videos featuring the new Sparkling Christmas StampTV kit.